Oh, okay. I was trying to juggle. Now, the final Windy Award. Game of the Year. And this has to be a video of its own, apparently, because there's a lot to cover here. Because... let me get to the runners-up first, for Worst Video of the Year. I forgot about some of these. Risen 2. The reason I forgot about that is because I played about an hour until I realized that the game was utterly terrible. I think, yeah, I got one trophy in it, and it was kind of like, the fighting in this is god fucking awful. I'm trying to think, what else was a nominee for or should have been a nominee but wasn't, for Worst Game of the Year. Darkness 2, which Cammy mentioned, yeah. Yeah, that raped its category enough as it was. Was this released in 2012? I don't think so. Max Payne 3! What did you do to Maxie? Seriously, what the fuck was that shit? That was not Max Payne! Now, the runners-up for Game of the Year are kind of quirky. First one is Yakuza Dead Souls, mainly because it's one of those games no one played, but should. Technically, it's a god-awful game, but it's just fucking hilarious. It really is. Trying to think. What else could be, or could have been nominated for Game of the Year, but wasn't. Well, I think that... Wait, was that released in 2012? No, 2011. Haha, never mind. Yeah, that's pretty much the only Game of the Year runner-up I have. But, my nominees for the Game of the Year for 2012. Far Cry 3. That should come as a shock to no one, figuring it won a few already, and was nominated for a bunch already. Dishonored. That should come as a shock to no one either. Walking Dead. I'm trying to remember all of the ones I wanted to nominate. Silent Hill Downpour, definitely. Guess there are a few on this list. Wow, I think that was it. Now, to distinguish Game of the Year, usually, I have to... Oh, and Spec Ops: The Line. Almost forgot about that one. Thank you, PSN, for reminding me. Normally for Game of the Year, what I do is I think of not just graphics, sound. In fact, you probably noticed I didn't do best graphics because I don't think games should be judged on that. Or, there is a voiceover, but that's atmosphere, not graphics. You can have bad graphics and good atmosphere. Look at Dead Island, for God's sake. But, I look at story. I look at aspects of that revolve around fun. How the game is made. The gameplay is good. And this wouldn't have been so rough had it not been for a game I started playing, was absolutely blown away by, and then a little while later, another game that I was absolutely blown away by. Now, I can't give it to Walking Dead, for the sheer fact that as much as I love that game, it did need some polish. It needed... I think it needed less quick time events and more puzzles than anything else. But the story in it, emotional, phenomenal story. Fantastic game. Seriously, everyone should play it if they like, the comics. Hell, even if you like the show, but besides the point. can't really give it to Downpour either, because there are parts in Downpour I thought were tedious. I mean, it's a great game, but you do get a little lost. It's not technically the greatest game this year, as much as I love it. I would absolutely feel terrible for tossing it up among the three I have it narrowed down to. And I do feel bad, because it comes down to Spec Ops, Far Cry 3, and Dishonored. Now, here's my dilemma. These were the three games I was completely blown away by. I can't give it to Spec Ops. And the only reason I can't give it to Spec Ops is because I know people who will look at Game of the Year and go, oh, I want to play that. Sometimes my suggestion does get listened to, and I can't recommend Spec Ops to everyone, because it's kind of
disturbing?
Yeah. Disturbing, almost traumatizing, but not. It's realistic, is what it is, to an extent. The violence in it is realistic. The way your character is losing his mind, kind of getting into the violence, is realistic. And I understand if everybody, or anyone, could not take that. So, for the first time ever in doing the Windies, both online and in video, I have 2 games of the year. And this is the only fair way I can do it. I think it was a few years ago when Castlevania Lords of Shadow came out, I had an issue of whether I want to nominate that for Game of the Year or not, because I couldn't get into the story, but I understand why other people could. Dishonored was a similar thing. I could get into the story, but I'm not a fan of the steampunk type of style. But it still wins based on the fact that for everyone who likes steampunk, it's a great game. If I can say it's a great game and not like steampunk, that says something for people who do like steampunk. It utterly blew me away. The characterization, the graphics, oh god, I love the painted quality of the graphics in it. The voice work, I think the only one I really could not stand was Piero, who's always talking to you like this. And I just want to punch people like that in the face normally. But at the same time, Far Cry 3 is more at my speed, is a great game, is a lot of fun. But I could not decide between the two, because I love them both equally. So I'm going to have to give it to both of them. So congratulations, Ubisoft and Arcane, for the first time ever, telling the left side of my brain and the right side of my brain what to like. Because that's really what it is. But seriously, congratulations congratulations to Dishonored and Far Cry 3 for being the first ever dual games of the year of 2012 from the Windy Awards. Now, next week, going to hopefully get the next Brain Junk Food up before the holidays. Will be next week or the week after. Or this week or the week after. But it will be before Christmas. And I may review Far Cry 3. I'm not sure yet. But I will think of something for the updates. Until then, I will see you all later.